Okay, stream is live again. So for this particular, as for the title, if you could see, is that President Trump also get rid of the Department of Education, which is a problem. A communist Department of Communist Education. Well, anyway, this is the good news, and I'm glad that I actually how to spell his channel name. Actually, it's kind of difficult for me. Let's see, it's called Asmongold. Well, whatever. So yes, he also got share this particular update. So let's take a look at it. It's actually a good news.
Thank you very much, Evan.
We changed the audio a little bit. It's fucked up.
And I'd like to start by saying that our country is doing very well. Things are, as you can see, doing quite well. Please sit down. Before we begin, I just want to announce that I signed a proclamation a few moments ago honoring the 250th anniversary of Patrick Henry's famous speech to the Second Virginia Convention, in which he declared very well-known, very famous words, "Give me liberty or give me death." Has anyone heard the phrase? I think most of you have.
Yeah.
And moments ago, I also signed an executive order to dramatically increase production of critical minerals and rare earths. It's a big thing in this country. And as you know, we're also signing agreements in various locations to unlock rare earths and minerals and lots of other things all over the world. But in particular, Ukraine, we're doing very well with regard to Ukraine and Russia. And one of the things we are doing is signing a deal very shortly with respect to rare earths with Ukraine, which they have tremendous value in rare earth, and we appreciate that. And we spoke yesterday with, as you know, President Putin and President Zelensky, and we would love to see that come to an end, and I think we're doing pretty well in that regard. So hopefully we can save thousands of people a week from dying. That's what it's all about. They're dying so unnecessarily, and I believe we'll get it done. We'll see what happens, but I believe we'll get it done. Today we take a very historic action that was 45 years in the making. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education.
I'm going to be honest. This is the same country that people didn't buy the A&W third pounder because they thought it was smaller than the quarter pounder. I really can't see that we need a Department of like if we had a Department of Education, it wasn't working.
Why do you need a Department
now,
of
in my opinion, I think they probably should have revamped it and made it better. I don't think the solution is just get rid of it. But let's be honest, boys. We just got done talking about people buying pizza on credit. You're buying DoorDash on credit. You're financing DoorDash. This shit wasn't working.
Yep, it's not working.
It wasn't. Like, it just wasn't working.
Once and for all.
Yeah. About admin and paper people. We're wasting our money.
And it sounds strange, doesn't it? Department of Education, we're going to eliminate it. And everybody knows it's right. And the Democrats know it's right, and I hope they're going to be voting for it because ultimately it may come before them. But everybody knows it's right, and we have to get our children educated. We're not doing well with the world of education.
He's saying that the kids are fucking retarded, and he's right. Kids are retarded nowadays, and they're so stupid. They don't know math. They can't write English. You know, I wonder what is the average age nowadays that kids can write their own name? What is it, like probably like 8, 9, something like that? I wouldn't be surprised. 21? This is bad. They can't read anymore. They don't do.
No,
it's just Like, basically, kids nowadays are... This is how...
No, that is not just bad, that is horrible. Like, fucking horrible is not okay. That's stupid. It's not... Can't even consider them human anymore. It's like, literally have become a... Say, well, actually to Runa, I would say there is insects. Like, you have no right to vote already. Because you are just not there, you are not capable of doing it. I wouldn't mind even to like just young them. I mean, it's only like causing trouble for everyone only. That's what I think. Well, sort of. There's no real solution to this so at this moment, I guess, at a high speed. But because even for those women ladies, so like completely treat themselves as a trash. Anyway, let's continue the video.
How bad it is. Young kids going into pre-K and kindergarten can't go upstairs because they don't spend any time moving around. They're just addicted to a cocoa melon tablet all day. And so they haven't built up the muscles in their body in order to go upstairs.
That's bullshit.
This is bad. We're speedrunning Wally.
In this country, and we haven't for a long time. And we're pleased to be joined today by the woman who I chose because she's an extraordinary person, and hopefully she will be our last Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon.
Damn.
Linda.
She's the executioner.
Thank you very much. That's another interesting statement. It's an interesting opening, right? But it's true, and it's been amazing how popular this has been. I
mean, WWE, yeah. I mean, fuck. I mean, here's the thing: is that isn't it better that we're getting somebody that like maybe worked in private industry? Like the WWE does pretty well, right? Like, I mean, I'd rather have somebody that worked at a company that functioned correctly than another governmental person.
People that this is what I'm doing today.
Not for fucking education? No. No, I have completely given up on the idea of experts. I have. I think it's all bullshit. I think that these people, they just act like they know what they're talking about. They don't actually know what they're talking about at all. They might, there's plenty of people. How many people do you guys know? You went to college with them. They got a degree, but they're stupid. They don't know what they're doing. Like, getting a 61 in a class,
No,
C's and
that's not
D's
okay.
get degrees.
That's stupid.
There's a lot of dumb people that have college degrees and credibility that don't need to have it. I've worked corporate for 20 years.
Yep.
Everywhere I go, nobody knows what they're doing. It's all bullshit. Yeah. No, I've noticed this. I
Yep,
have. Have you
it's
ever
true.
have you ever gone like at the government? It was like this. Like there was 200 people in the building. There were like 12 people that were operating at efficiency. Everybody else was on their phone, talking, stupid. They can't read the paperwork. They need to have it re-explained to them for the 5th time. They've been here 2 years. Like, oh my God. It's so bad, yes. And I tell people, if you want to be a good worker, and if you want your boss to like you, show up to work and do your job. You will blow the majority of the competition out of the fucking water. They can't compete with that level of behavior. That's it. All you got to do. No raises, that's why? No, I don't know. Well, it's like the bar is really low. That's private companies also? I know. What I'm saying is I've totally given up on the idea of experts. No.
They say, oh, it's about time. Everybody says it. Republicans and Democrats have said it. They're all saying it. Also with us are some terrific people. Governors Greg Abbott. Greg, thank you very much. Governor Ron DeSantis, thank you very much, Ron. Mike Braun, congratulations on your victory, Mike. That was a big one. Mike DeWine, thank you very much, Mike. Jeff Landry.
Yep.
Jeff, thank you very much, Jeff. Bill Lee.
Yeah, this is
governors,
it.
All
this is
governors.
It.
Brad Little. Brad, thank you very much. Where are you, Brad? Hi, Brad.
Yep.
Jim Pylan, thank you very much, Jim.
There it is.
And Kim Reynolds. These are all people very interested in education. Yep. And I even see Dan Patrick over there, my friend Dan Patrick. We're joined also by Representatives Tim Walberg.
Is this wild to me? You'd say something like that while using a computer and streaming on Twitch? Just really something? Well, like whenever I worked at the IRS, I just immediately came in. I picked up on the job. I figured out what I needed to do, and I did it correctly. And then whenever I wanted to get started streaming, I went into it. I looked at the people that were successful. I was able to distill that down into something that worked, and I had 250 viewers on my first stream. Whenever I wanted to get into making YouTube videos, I looked at the YouTube videos that worked properly, and then I evaluated and then dissected down what the primary criteria are that make you successful, and then I did that. When I wanted to make a website and set that up, I just simply self-taught myself how to make a website, and then I set it up. When I was 12 years old and 11 years old, I wanted to learn to animate things, so I got a program for animation, and then I got a book from Barnes & Noble, and then I read it, and then I learned how to animate. That's it. Like, there's no fucking, like, divine ordained, like, knowledge here. And this isn't because I'm some kind of, like, massively smart guy. I don't think I'm even, like, really above average intelligence, even. I just simply look at, okay, I want to do this thing. What did other people do that did this thing do? Okay, I'm going to do that. Duh! It's so easy.
Hi.
It's so fucking easy. I was involved with multiple successful companies starting up, still successful. No, yeah, it's fucking simple. You have to, but it's not simple. It is and it's not. Doing it is hard and it's complex, but the actual actions are in times simple. You just simply put in effort. Most people do not put in effort. They're fucking lazy. They're massively fucking lazy. Knowledge is an equal end result. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are stupid and they can't apply the information that they understand. I noticed this in school. There were people that they would learn shit and then they just don't know how to actually apply it to anything.
And Virginia Fox,
financing DoorDash.
Rick Allen, Michael Ruley, and again, Dan Patrick. Thank you very much, Dan. You've been a great friend of ours. And State Attorneys General Ken Paxton. Ken, I see you there. Andrew Bailey.
He's caused
Andrew,
a bunch of problems.
what a job you've done, Andrew. You have some good cases going. You've done a great job. Thank you very much. And co-founder of Moms for Liberty, Tiffany Justice. She's been a hard worker. Thank you. Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Tiffany. When President Carter created the Federal Education Department in 1979, it was opposed by members of his own cabinet, as well as the American Federation of Teachers, the New York Times editorial board, and the famed Democrat Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. History has proven them right, absolutely right.
Kids are
After
stupid.
45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country.
Where's the money going? Where's it going?
Money laundering.
And spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But yet we rank near the bottom of the list in terms of success. It's an amazing stat. Those are two stats you don't
Not to
want.
the
The most
school,
money
not to
spent
the
per
teachers.
pupil, and you're
Not
at the
for
bottom of the
SPAs.
list. And that's where we are.
It's like y'all ever in high school, you ever get a book and then you look at it's a history book and it says turning towards the future at the end of the history book, and it's about Bill Clinton taking office, and then you look at who the book was checked out to, and like it says 77 to 79 on the top of it. Like, we don't need that. Yeah, we don't fucking need that. Like, this is your grandpa's history book. It's like people. This is before the teacher even was born.
Or not, and we've been there for a long time. 70% of 8th graders are not proficient in either reading.
Hold up.
We're at the bottom of the list, and that's where we are, like it or not, and we've been there for a long time. 70% of 8th graders are not proficient in either reading or in math. 70%
of 8th graders are retarded. Do you think that just magically by the time they turned 18, they're going to unretarded themselves? I don't think they will. I think the only thing they're going to do at 18 is vote. And finance DoorDash. By the way, I wasn't kidding. I actually think that they should have a test for you to understand basic finance to take on any type of debt. You should have to pass a test.
40% of 4th graders lack even basic reading skills. Can't read.
Wait, what?
40% of 4th graders lack even
4th grade. That's 9 to 10 years old. 9 to 10 years old, they can't read.
basic reading skills. Can't read. Students in our public elementary and middle schools score worse in reading today than when the department opened by a lot.
Fact check it though? No, I believe it immediately. No, I believe it.
Baltimore, 40% of the high schools have 0 students who can do basic mathematics.
You shouldn't. No. See, you guys act like guys. You don't understand how bad it is.
Not even the very simplest of maths who can do basic mathematics. In Baltimore, 40% of the high schools have 0 students who can do basic mathematics.
That is very horrible. Like super bad. Like what kind of
They said no child left behind. How about no child left ahead?
What kind of
No, that's the kind of shit I wouldn't immediately believe. That's insane. Oh my god.
More 40% of the high schools have 0 students who can do basic mathematics. Not even the very simplest of mathematics. I said, give me your definition of basic, and they're talking about like adding a few numbers together. Despite these breathtaking failures, the department's discretionary budget has exploded by...
How do you think this happened? I'll tell you how it happened. It happened because you criminally underpay teachers, and then you have a bureaucracy of teachers that are basically Karens that are stupid. That's why they have a job as being a teacher, is because in a lot of these different fields that teachers would go into, you have teaching in public schools is one of the worst possible things. Because you have a fucking, the amount of money that they get paid is criminal. They have to pay for their own supplies. They're on the job 24/7. They have to have apps to keep up with the parents of these stupid kids. So, like, why doesn't my kid know how to do multiplication and they're 15? Oh, I don't know, Bill. Maybe because your kid's a fucking retard. Maybe it's not my fault that at 15 years old, he can't multiply 4 times 4. Okay, maybe I didn't do this. Maybe you should have thought about this a little bit more. And so anyway, you've got the teachers. And so like, why would you go and be a teacher if you have a degree in chemistry or you're in any way, shape, or form educated in this? So the only people that you have for teachers are, you have two groups, and they're the most diametrically opposed groups. You have losers that couldn't get any better job, and you have winners that want to be teachers and they love being a teacher and they are in it for the love of the game. And those are your legends. And those people need to be paid twice as much fucking money. And then you need to get the other half of people out of the fucking job by offering twice as much money. So you have the people that are more qualified that can beat them out in the job listings, and then you can have better teachers. That's the way you solve it. That's what I think the problem is. So you've got a bunch of fucking you've got shitty teachers, you've got stupid teachers teaching stupid kids, they hate their fucking job, and I don't blame them, they're right. You have mountains of bureaucracy, you have all of these different ways that parents blame everything on the kid nowadays, and the teacher's supposed to be held accountable. Like, if your kid doesn't know math, and every problem is not the teacher's fault, okay? There's some stupid kids. That's the reason why. That's it. And so that, yeah, where's the money going? Where is it going? I don't know. Where'd it go? There's $1 billion. Ooh. You know, like, I wonder. That's it. It's a big problem, man. It's a huge problem.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
600% in a very short period.
How do you have billions of dollars going into this, but you have teachers that have to buy markers out of their own fucking paycheck?
Yeah, true.
I'll tell you how. It's run by a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yep.
Of time and employs
What are you talking about?
bureaucrats in buildings all over Washington, D.C. And as a former...
And everybody always likes to abstract this. Like, I'm sorry I've been pausing so much about this video. I have so much to say about this. Everybody, oh, well, it's this complex. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop it. It's not complex. It's run by idiots. It's run by idiots who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're wasting everybody's money.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
How would you know? Because everything else in my life that I've ever seen run by any group of people is always being run by idiots, especially in the government.
Yes.
Because
Correct.
most people are idiots.
Yes, correct. True.
And also based off of the outcome.
95.
If you get this much money and you don't have a good outcome, you're an idiot or you're corrupt. One or the
yes.
other. Pick your poison.
Yes. 98.
real estate person, I will tell you, I ride through the streets of Washington and it says Department of Education, Department of Education. I said, how do you fill those buildings? It's crazy what's happened over the years.
What are they doing?
I'm pleased to report that after offering these federal employees 2 generous buyout options, and they were very generous, and they're good people, but they were very generous. My administration has initiated a reduction in force, and we're already cutting numbers that were really surprising to a lot, that we were able to do it so successfully. And we've cut the number of bureaucrats in half. 50% have taken office, which is great.
Remember when Elon Musk bought Twitter and he fired 80% of the staff and then nothing changed? You remember when Meta did the same thing? They fired a bunch of their people, like 10,000 people, nothing changed? Huh. Huh. That's crazy.
How is that crazy?
Come on.
It just means that there are more stupid insects.
Thank you. Under the action I'm taking today, a small handful of Democrats and others that we have employed for a long time, and there are some Republicans, but not too many, I have to be honest with you. But the department...
It says bad things are going to happen because of this? Bad things are already happening. Kids can't read, they can't do math. So the solution is like, oh, well, let's not change anything. Why would we not change anything? Yeah, it's already fucked.
Yep.
If it's going to be fucked, I might as well not pay for it.
Yeah, true.
Useful functions, and such as, and they're in charge of them. Pell Grants, Title I funding, resources for children with disabilities and special needs will be preserved, fully preserved. They're all going to be so. If you look at the Pell Grants, it's supposed to be a very good program. Title I funding, and
Sure.
resources for children with special disabilities and special needs. They're going to be preserved in full and redistributed to various other agencies and departments that will take very good care of them. And that's very important to Linda, I
Good.
know, and it's very important to all of us.
That's right.
But beyond these core necessities, my administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states where just some of the governors here are so happy.
After they get rid of the Department of Education, Texas is going to change the curriculum to teach students that the South actually won the Civil War.
About this. They want
Yes.
education to come back to them, to come back to the states, and they're going to do a phenomenal job. You know, if you look, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, I have to tell you, I give them a lot of credit. China's top 10. And so we can't now say that bigness is making it impossible to educate, because China is very big. But you have countries that do a very good job in education.
You tell me Americans can be smarter? Yeah, I think it's easy to get people to learn. Like, I remember we had, so like, this is easy. Like, yeah, there are kids that are stupid, but like, I remember we had two classes. We had a class with like some like girl teacher, like nobody gave a fuck about what she said about anything. And so like, we would just run amok, right? And then there was the history class that was out in the portable, the farthest away from the building. And everybody who was a problem boy was in this class. And the teacher of the class was the football coach. And every day we got to learn about how his father beat the Nazis in World War II.
Oh God. Fucking hell.
And the same goof around, fuck around, stoner, 19 years old, sophomore year in high school guys in that class were like, yes, sir. No, sir. Let me bring you your books, sir. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I did my work early. Okay, good. There were no problems. There were never any problems. So, no, this entire concept that, oh, well, this is some problem that you can't solve. No, it's not. No, the reason why you can't solve it, maybe you can't solve it, but no.
There's
You have to be
no
more disciplined and
such
praise
thing
intelligence as much as we
a
praise.
problem
Yeah,
that
it's
cannot
simple.
be solved.
I respect you. Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
exist.
that simple. China's Asian education system is so tough, though, students even commit suicide. Who the fuck said we had to copy China's education system? Nobody's saying that.
And I really believe, like some of the governors here today, from states that run very, very well, including a big state like Texas, but states that run very well are going to have education that will be as good as Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and those top, Finland, those top countries that do so well with education. I think they'll do every bit as well. And what do you think about that, Governor? Do you agree? Huh? I think so. Ron, do you agree? I think so. Florida? Iowa? That's right. I really believe that. They'll be as good as any of them. And then you'll have some laggards, and we'll work with them.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
We can all tell you who the laggards will be right now, probably, but let's not
well.
get into that. But we'll work with them, and we're going to make them, they'll do a job. I think they'll do a job, and they'll go to sections of the state. For instance, New York, you'll have a Manhattan, and you'll have a Suffolk County, and you'll have a Nassau County, and you'll have Westchester County. You'll do 4 or 5 or 6 of them. You have upstate New York, and those counties, I think, are going to do very well. And I think ultimately Manhattan should do very well. But we'll break it down into sections, and I think it'll be really, really good. And they're going to be probably the tougher ones, but I think they have a chance to do really well. But
Yeah, I think so. Somebody says it's not fair to compare the success of small countries with an overwhelming majority of one demographic. Guys, even if somebody is black or Hispanic, they can learn basic math. What are you talking about with this weird racist implications? What are we talking about? No, that's not real. Like, yes, obviously at a super high end, there's going to be some people that are smarter than other people. Yeah, of course. But we're talking about reading, being able to read. I think people can fucking read. It's not genetic that you can't fucking read. No, absolutely fucking not. Have a higher this is the thing. Have a higher standard.
We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work, and I can tell you from dealing with the governors and others in the state, they want it so badly. They want to take their children back and really teach their children individually. Probably the cost will be half, and the education will
There's people that are in chat that are doing this like race realism, IQ difference between different races. Guys, we're not talking about like people that don't have access to like fucking food and so their brain isn't fully developed. Everybody here in the US basically meets the threshold for being able to read and do basic math. They do. Like 95, 99% of them do. Like, this is not like, I'm not saying that everybody is going to turn into being a rocket wizard, okay? But they can figure out how to do math.
Maybe many, many times better. So we look forward to this. I want to just make one little personal statement. Teachers, to me, are among the most important people in this country. And we're going to take...
And also, if somebody is so mentally impaired that they actually can't learn how to do math, then they need to be separated from the rest of the people that can, because they're special needs and they need to be properly educated according to their ability. That's the truth. Like, it's not helpful to put a kid like that in a class where, like, if this kid is running on, you know, a Game Boy Advance and you need somebody to be at least a Nintendo 64 or, like, you know, a GameCube, well, then he's going to be having a bad time. He's going to be having a really bad time. And so, like, are you really helping this kid by putting him in this class that he's going to just fail? Yeah, if people imply minorities aren't intelligent enough to learn to understand basic math. Nah, yeah, they can understand this shit. Like, I'm not talking about, like, advanced calculus. I'm not talking about, like, you know, writing poetry. It's simple. Yeah, it's how to spell and write and read. Special needs isn't a bad thing, but you're absolutely right. They need a different type of help. Well, I mean, special needs, I mean, you don't want your kid to be special needs, right? Like, it's not good. But, like, sometimes you just get bad RNG, right? Like, most people don't want to go bald, right? That's not good. Like, there's plenty of, like, genetic things that can go wrong. It's disappointing, right? It happens. But, like, that doesn't mean you're a less of a person. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Like, that, you know, oh, let's fucking, like, hate you. No. But, like, you have to treat these people differently. Like, somebody's got, like, you know, we had this kid in our school. His name, I don't know what his name was. We called him E.T. because his hands only had 2 fingers. And I think 3, actually. And, you know, by the way, the teachers called him E.T. Like, his mom called him that. That was his name. And so, anyway, no, I'm serious. And, anyway, it's awful? No, it wasn't. No, we grew up together. We were friends. It wasn't awful. He had hands like E.T. It's not fun, yeah. See, this, remember what I said before about how Karens run everything? This is what I was talking about. Oh, it's so... Shut up. Shut up, bitch. Shut up, you little pussy. Karen's in the chat. No. Point proven, yeah. See, y'all don't understand how guys act with each other. Of course guys call it... Yeah, absolutely. It's like, bro, am I fat? It's like, yeah, I know 5 fat people and you're 4 of them. That's the way guys, that's the way men talk to each other. Guys talk to each other, especially young guys. Boys, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, if this gets you in your feelings, then you're probably not part of that group. Or maybe you a bitch. Stop being a bitch.
Care of our teachers, and I don't care if they're in the union or not in the union, that doesn't matter. But we're going to take care of our teachers, and I believe I believe the states will take actually better care of them than they are taken care of right now. They'll work all sorts of systems and even merit systems. Those great teachers are going to be maybe a little bit better rewarded, or maybe that's the way it should be. But the states are going to
Fucking exactly. Yes, you need to pay them more money.
make that decision. But we're going to love and cherish our teachers along with our children, and they're going to work with the parents, and they're going to work with everybody else, and it's going to be an amazing thing to watch, and it's really going to be something special. And Linda, you're presiding over something that's so important, and you're going to do a fantastic job, just like you have your whole life. I know your whole life I've been watching you. I've been watching you for a long time. She's had nothing but success. So it's tremendous to have you, and hopefully you won't be there too long, but we're going to find something else for you, Linda, okay? So this will conclude what we are talking about with respect to our most cherished group of people, and that's our children. We want to have our children well educated. We want them to love going to school. We have examples of it. Look at those beautiful.
So we got somebody in chat. We got an arguer in chat. I'm gonna pull this guy up real quick. So what's this? You really don't know how teachers are already getting paid? What's wrong? Lies? The state's already taking care of teachers. It's not working. What's your point? Actually, why are we even wasting our time? I don't want to read your messages. You're just a retard. It's a waste of everybody's time.
Bright-eyed faces, they are so smart. They're so smart. And with that, I'm going to come down, and we're going to sign a very important document, and we're going to be on our way. People have wanted to do this for many, many years, for many, many decades. And I don't know, no president ever got around to doing it, but I'm getting around to doing it, so thank you very much.
Here we go.
Good-looking people here. Should I do this?
This other thing, like the desks, like I remember seeing desks in like my school, and it's like, I swear to God, I think one of these desks, Abraham Lincoln fucking put his name on it. Like back in the fucking 1800s. Like they had these same desks for 200 years. Really? Like, I'm not even kidding. Like that's what it was. Yeah. People like, you know, cause you know, they'd like carve their name in there, and it would be like, you know, Billy, and then it would say like, you know, 61. 61? Bro, it's 97. It's a lot.
It was very lucky. I signed another document that turned out to be very good for the country, and I said, let's use that same pen. I don't know, is anybody superstitious? Ron, are you superstitious? Let's use that same pen.
Says he's going to need to file for workman's comp from carpal tunnel for signing all these orders. He's done a lot of these. Huh? Yeah, he done a whole lot. So her job is to make sure that she doesn't have a job? Well, there it is. There it fucking is. And I'm all for making Department of Education smaller, but this isn't going to change anything in the schools. I mean, like, I think that really, like, as I said, I'm not really a big fan of, like, getting rid of it, but I think that something needs to dramatically change massively. Like, like a complete paradigm shift. Because very obviously what they've been doing isn't working. It's not working. It hasn't been working. Something needs to change. And so it's like, oh, but what if, oh, but well, it could get worse. Yeah, but it's already getting worse. So, like, what the fuck? Like, people are always afraid of change because they're worried that things could get worse. But things are already going to get worse if you're afraid of change to begin with. So I'm always a favor of making extreme changes. I am. I think that it's always good to start there because that gets people moving. They need to crush the teachers' unions. They've ruined schools. Maybe you're right. I don't know enough about teachers' unions to have an opinion on that. Yeah, I'm not sure. You can't be lower than the bottom. Well, if you have a shovel, you can be. And I think that's what's happening. And, yeah. They need to get rid of 1/3 Department of Education and then fire. That's too much. They should fire half of it. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's probably what they're going to do is they're going to just start, like, doing mass layoffs until they feel like it's working. Or just get rid of the whole thing if that doesn't happen. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.